Good evening. I'd like to call the special special board meeting to order. Would everyone please rise for the prayer and pledge of allegiance?
Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you this evening mindful of the opportunity that you've given us together to prepare our young people for their future paths. Be with us as we discuss a course of action to benefit each child in a spirit of cooperation, collaboration, and enthusiasm for teaching and learning. These things we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Mr. DeCosta, would you lead us in the pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please, Ms. Foche.
Mrs. Acevedo?
Here.
Mr. Campbell?
Here.
Dr. Kraft has not yet arrived. Mr. Egan?
Here.
Mrs. Lemoyne? Here. Mr. England?
Here.
Mrs. Dysart?
Here.
Dr. Lewis is not with us. Mr. Long?
Here.
Mrs. Nikosha?
Here.
Mr. Warren?
Here.
Thank you, Ms. Foche. First and only item on the special meeting tonight are the superintendent's evaluation. Is there a motion to go in executive session at this time? There's a motion by Mr. England, seconded by Mr. Campbell. Any discussion to go into executive session in order to discuss superintendent's evaluation, which we do yearly? There being none, please cast your votes.
Motion passes 9-0.
We will now go into executive session. Thank you.
Yeah. I'll just be out here.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, just go ahead.
Is there a motion to go into open session? There's a motion by Mr. Long, seconded by Mr. Warner. Any discussion to go into open session? There being none, please cast your votes.
Motion passes 10-0.
Thank you, Ms. Foche. We're now in open session, and at this time, on behalf of the St. Bernard Parish School Board, we just want to announce that Ms. Voce has had a very excellent evaluation. She's continued to lead our school system in an exemplary manner, and we all want to thank her for her dedication and hard work to move our students forward in academic success. So we thank you, Ms. Foche, and we appreciate all of your hard work throughout the year. And because this is a state law that we evaluate the superintendent, all of the scores will be sent to the state. And again, we thank you very much, and we look forward to continuing to work with you, Ms. Foche, and we appreciate all that you do for St. Bernard Parish, sincerely.
Well, I just want to thank everyone. You know, it's always nice to have an evening like this, but I do want to say that this board is wonderful to work with. The leadership that it provides within this community is outstanding. And I think over the past 11 years it has shown in what we've been able to rebuild and produce for this community and our students. So while in other places, in many cases, different boards and superintendents do not have such a good relationship, but even though we may disagree at times on issues, we all pull together and do what's in the best interest of children with every decision that is made around this horseshoe. So I want to thank each and every one of you for the leadership that you do provide to our school system and to the community of St. Bernard. Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Voce. Okay, anyone else? Is there, Dr. Kraft?
Yes. We're fortunate to have someone of the caliber, the commitment and dedication that Superintendent Voce has exhibited during these years since 2004. And of course, she served us well before she was superintendent. And she took the reins there in 2004 after Mr. Order had done a good job being superintendent, I think, for 7 years. Is that right, Mr. Order? Yeah, and she's beat you. She's got 11 years. And of course, we're fortunate that she made this commitment for this long, and she still has a lot of talent that she can give to the St. Bernard Parish school system. And of course, our children are the focus of education, and she's done well with them, and we look forward for many, many more years to work with Superintendent Voce. Thank you for all your efforts and all your contributions.
Anyone else? Okay, and before we close the meeting tonight, tonight is Miss Judy Nikosha's last night of being with us. She has done an excellent job of filling her husband's seat, Mr. Ron Nikosha. And Judy, we've had the pleasure of having you work with us, and we sincerely appreciate all that you've done, and you've dedicated your works these past 11 months.
Yeah.
11 months. And we want to give you this plaque presented to Judy Nikosha in tribute to your dedication and your service to the children of St. Bernard Parish. As the member of the St. Bernard Parish School Board, by all of the members of the board and the superintendent. And we thank you, Judy. We'll miss you, but we were glad that you were willing to serve in this capacity. And we thank you for your friendship. Always, we love you.
I would love to thank all of y'all for everything y'all done for me.
We need to go and get a picture with you. Yeah, I'll do so, okay? All right. Ms. Voce?
And I just want to add, and I said this at the last meeting, and we know that everyone congratulates Judy, and as she said, filling the seat of her husband, but in her own right, she has been an outstanding board member and has had so much to contribute to our children. You know, that warmth of a mother, a grandmother, who's always has the best interest of children at heart. So in your own right, Judy, you have been an outstanding school board member and just have provided so much, not only leadership on the board itself, but have been such a source of comfort, warmth, and enthusiasm with our kids and our schools. So we thank you very much. for
I
your
really
service.
appreciate all of you guys. Y'all have made my job so much easier. This has been a very hard year, and I have really enjoyed being on the school board with all of y'all. And I love each and every one of y'all.
Okay, is there a motion to adjourn? Okay, motion by Ms. Dr. Kraft, seconded by Ms. Acevedo. All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The meeting is now adjourned. Thank you, and we will, I'm adjourned. The meeting is now adjourned, but we will have the official swearing in of our new member, Mr. Carl Gaines, and with him tonight is his family. And Carl, if you would please come up, and to swear Carl in tonight is our district attorney, Mr. Perry Nikosha. And with Carl tonight is his lovely wife and former educator, Ms. Suzette, and Spring, and Sienna,
And Jasper.
and Jasper. Sion, I'm sorry.
A little bit, so Ken, we can get you kid. No, you can, Stacey can grab you from here. All right. All right, Mr. Carl Gaines, would you please place your hand on the Bible and please raise your right hand and repeat after me for the oath of office, sir. I, Carl W. Gaines Jr.,
I, Carl W. Gaines Jr.,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution
the Constitution
and laws
and laws
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
and laws
and laws
of this state,
of this state,
and that I will
and I will
faithfully
faithfully
and impartially
and impartially
discharge and perform
discharge and perform
all of the duties
all the duties
incumbent on me
incumbent on me
as St. Bernard Parish School Board Member,
as St. Bernard Parish School Board Member,
District 10,
District 10,
according to the best of my ability
according to the best of my ability
and understanding,
and understanding.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
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 Glad to have you on board, man.
Congratulations.
Glad to have
Glad to have you.
All right.
Congratulations.
Congratulations to you.
I know, we're gonna knock something over, I'm telling you. That's why, leave it alone, that's good. We were just saying, okay. I'll catch you on spring. Good to see you, honey. Okay. Okay. Be back at 6:30.
We will now take a short break and have a mini reception. We'll be back at 6:30 to convene our committee meeting.
Which boat you going on? Which boat?
Right out of here. Cheryl's birthday.
The Dream?
Good evening. I'd like to call the general committee meeting to order. Would everyone please rise for the prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance?
Dear Heavenly Father, we are mindful this evening of the many ways in which you continue to bless this school district. We are grateful for our employees, students, and parents who continue to join together to make our school district child-centered. As we move toward the end of the first semester of our work together, we ask that you instill in each of us the peace and goodwill toward all men that are the mark of this time of year. These things we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen. Ms. Lemoyne, would you lead us in the pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please, Ms. Voce.
Mrs. Aceveda, here. Mr. Campbell.
Here.
Dr. Kraft. Mr. Egan. Mr. Gaines. Mr. England. Mrs. Dysart.
Here.
Mrs. Lemoyne.
Here.
Dr. Lewis is not with us. Mr. Long.
Here.
Mr. Warner.
Here.
Thank you, Ms. Voce. Before we go on to the regular agenda, at this time, on behalf of the entire board and Ms. Voce, we'd like to welcome our newest member, Mr. Carl Gaines, newly elected, and Mr. Gaines was just sworn in right prior to the committee meeting. So welcome, Mr. Gaines. We're glad to have you with us, and look forward to working with you.
Looking forward to the future.
Thank you.
Whoa, awkward. I was a little nervous too.
Congratulations, and again, welcome. Dr. Kraft.
Yes, a point of personal privilege. I got word last night about 11 that a good friend, and he was served as president of the Louisiana Retired Teachers, James Stewart. He was a teacher and a principal in Rapides Parish. He passed away after about 2 weeks that he had been told that he had cancer all over his body. So keep the family and his relatives and friends in your prayers. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Kraft. And just a point of privilege, in this holiday festive season, many of the schools have been performing at different venues at Chalmette, Performing Arts, at Dockville, at the Parish Complex, and I just want to congratulate all of the schools, all of the musicians, the cheerleaders, the dance team. They do an excellent job, and the teachers who lead these groups are doing an excellent job too of instilling some positive role modeling to our students, and it's very proud to watch them all perform. So congratulations to all. Thank you.
I'd like
Mr.
to
England?
ditto on that, because at the lighting of the Christmas tree, you know, for the parish, the cheerleaders, what they did on the stage was unbelievable. You know, they did the pyramids and everything. I mean, it was fantastic, and they did a fantastic job. But not all the schools are doing good. But that really took me by real my eyes right there. It was really good.
Very
Thank you.
impressive.
Very talented.
Mr. Gaines?
Well, I attended the performance Thursday, and I was so impressed with the show choir, the holiday number. I mean, it was Broadway quality. It was just amazing what our kids could do, and I just want to congratulate that group.
Thank you. Okay, next item on the agenda are super news.
Super
Good
news.
evening,
Good evening.
Ms. Schneider.
So I feel like the board has already done a wonderful job this evening of sharing so many of the things we're going to discuss tonight on. Before we start this month's
Let's
Super
get rid of
News,
this
I'd like
guy.
to just give your attention to handout 4, which is the December communications report. As Ms. Dysart mentioned, many of the elementary and middle schools have already begun their Christmas shows. There are several that are still going to be happening over the next week and a half. And you can find information about individual schools' Christmas shows on their individual websites online. I also just wanted to bring your attention to the filming schedule right below. As each of you know, each month we highlight 3 different teachers who go above and beyond for the students of our parish. And each of you have an opportunity to introduce those teachers. So if you have any questions about when you are being filmed, that you can find at the bottom of the communications report. So without any further ado, I will ask Jack to cue up this month's Super News. Hello, I'm Alex Schneider.
And I'm Barry Lamorne, and welcome to this edition of
Super News. We'll kick things off with a look at our recent academic games tournament. Over 150 students took part in these brain games as of propaganda and onsets. Special thanks to all of our coaches for their efforts, and of course to our corporate sponsor, Chalmette Refining LLC, for making these tournaments possible. Congratulations to all of our winners who are now in the running to make this year's national team, which will compete in Wheeling, West Virginia in April.
And while these students were vying for academic awards, middle school students from across the region were enjoying the competition and the camaraderie that are all part of the fun of the annual Junior Beta Convention. Talent showcases, art contests, spirit competitions, and a true celebration of leadership and community were all part of this gathering.
Leadership is also at the heart of a scholarship program that offers students a 4-year full tuition leadership scholarship to an elite university across the country. These Posse scholarships are very competitive, and we are proud to say that of the 80 of this year's regional finalists, 8 of them are seniors at Chalmette High School. CHS has a successful track record with Posse sending several students to such prestigious universities like Bard College and Notre Dame. This year's finalists, who will be conducting their final interviews with Notre Dame, Tulane, Case Western Reserve University, and Illinois Wesleyan University. Good luck.
And now we'll go from some outstanding students to 3 excellent educators who were recently named as the district winners for the Teacher of the Year Awards. These top-notch teachers exemplify all that is good in public education, and we commend them on this recognition. Congratulations to Kelsey Klein of Davies Elementary School, Lindsay Bastow at Tris Middle School, and our high school teacher representing Chalmette High School, Alexis Duque. And stay tuned to Penn TV for a look at each of our school-wide winners of the Teachers of the Year.
From our top educators, we now go to a topping off barbecue at the soon-to-be Arlene Miro Elementary School. A topping out celebration marks an important part of the construction process. It's held when the steel structure of a building is completed. The new elementary school, the final construction project for the school district and its rebuilding efforts post-Katrina, will open in August. It promises to be a beautiful landmark at the entry of the parish and a great asset to our community. Major thanks to the Miro Foundation for your generosity, and to Gibbs Construction, Mike Lakeen, and Albert Carey for your tireless efforts in bringing this school into our family.
We just want to sincerely thank the Miro Foundation for donating this land and making today possible, making this project possible. And also Gibbs, we appreciate your partnership. Y'all been great to work with. And our architects, y'all been wonderful. And so on behalf of the board, we would just say thanks. And thanks to all the workers for working so hard. It's going to be great to see children at this site in August.
And now we'd like to recognize each of our school's Students of the Year winners, representing the best in and out of the classroom at the 5th, 8th, and 12th grade level. Congratulations, and we wish you well in the upcoming district competition taking place later this year.
And now it's tribute time and this month's teacher features, as presented by the members of our school board.
Hello, I'm Dr. Henderson Lewis Jr., and today we salute Jo Ellen Clark at W. Smith Jr. Elementary School. Ms. Clark is a dedicated second grade teacher leader with high academic and behavior expectation of her students. She also works hard with her second grade team to implement effective strategies during weekly professional development. She is kind, caring, and inspirational, and is a true asset to our Smith family.
Was the whole story about comparing and contrasting an adult ladybug and a larva? Yes. Yes, it was. So we put a check by it.
I'm Hugh Craft, and today we pay tribute to Natasha Weibel, an ELA teacher at St. Bernard Middle School. Ms. Weibel is a member of the PBIS team and selflessly volunteers her time to assist with extracurricular events held at St. Bernard Middle School. She is warm and caring and a huge Eagle fan who supports her students not only in the classroom but in all their undertakings as well. Her impeccable lesson plans yield student success, and she is truly an exceptional educator.
So we're gonna watch the ads, you guys are gonna take notes on the ads, and then we're gonna go back and read what these techniques are, and we're gonna figure out which technique they used in each of these 5 ads.
I'm Bill Egan, and today we recognize Ronnie Hebert, a physical education teacher at Andrew Jackson Middle School. Coach Hebert creates a positive culture of respect, which supports our No Place for Hate initiative. He is a true teacher and a great asset to Andrew Jackson Middle School. He is respectful and kind to everyone, and a great role model for all of the middle school students.
I'm School Board Member Sean Warner, and today's teacher feature highlights the exceptional talents of English teacher Alexis Duque, who teaches English 1 and English 2 at the CHS Academy. Ms. Duque is most known for her rigorous curriculum and expectations, as well as her ability to teach holistically and reach all types of learners. Given her extraordinary talents in the classroom, it is no surprise that Ms. Duque has been chosen as a CHS 2017 Teacher of the Year. Thank you, Mrs. Duque, for all that you do at CHS.
So what I'd like you to do just for 30 seconds is if someone said something that you don't have written on your paper, I'd like you to go ahead and write that down after you skip a line, something that you learned from what everyone shared out with.
Congratulations to these outstanding educators, and thank you for all that you do.
We also pay respect today to Assistant Principal Sandra Dempsey of Chalmette Elementary School, an extremely dedicated and caring professional. As disciplinarian, she is fair and impartial and compassionate in all of her interactions with her students. She is truly deserving of this recognition for her dedication to the children of St. Bernard Parish.
We also want to recognize Miss Oline Bowden of Chalmette High School as the focus for this month's staff feature. Miss Oline goes above and beyond to meet the needs of both teachers and students. She is hardworking, kind, and considerate, and a pleasure to work with.
Well, that would just about do it for this edition of Super News. But before we go, we're going to take a look at all of the song and celebration that are part of this holiday season.
Students from across the parish performed at a wide array of venues, spreading holiday cheer to everyone. Festivals, theatrical productions, and holiday concerts were all part of the festive fun.
Thanks for tuning in, and happy holidays, everyone.
And we'll see you next year here on Super News, where we always let the Super News roll.
And we'll see you next time.
Well, thank you very much. And next month, Barry Lemoyne will probably be joining you, as I will be out. But I'm excited to see you all when I get back from maternity leave. So thank you very much.
Good luck. Thank you very much. As always, you and Barry and Jack have done an excellent job. Thank you for Super News. And you are definitely glowing. And we wish you much luck, and we will see you next month after our new arrival comes.
Thank you very much.
Good luck. Thank you. Merry Christmas. Okay, anyone else on Super News? Okay. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is a Head Start annual report and update. Good evening.
Good evening.
Dr. Rabiota.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to come before you tonight. Head Start has a number of rules and regulations. And in fact, this is the first rewrite of Head Start rules and regulations since 1998. So we are pouring over the new rules and regs. They're supposed to give us a little more flexibility, but as in anything with the federal government, there's still a lot of hoops that we have to jump through. And so most of what I'm going to do tonight are those things that I have to present to the governing body, you as the school board as a whole. There are many things that I also present to the Policy Council, and you remember that Ms. Lemoyne is currently our board representative on the Policy Council. So most of these items I'm presenting to you as the board because that's required by Head Start, and also to the Policy Council. The first thing that you're looking at, there are a series of handouts there. I'm just going to kind of go over those handouts with you. 5A is our Head Start annual report for last school year. Head Start mandates that we present this to you and to the public, a report published at least once each fiscal year that discloses information from last year. And so if you kind of look at that annual report, Section A is the amount of funds that we receive from the federal government. Section B talks about the breakdown of those funding sources into the various categories. Section C talks about the number of families and children that we serve. You'll notice that we're funded for 112, but this includes families and children that move in and out of the parish sometime during the course of last year. With regard to Section D, we're in full compliance. We're in the early stages of our 5-year process, and so with the changes in the rules and regulations, the monitoring guidelines have not come down yet, so we're anticipating those things, and we're getting ready for whatever kind of monitoring will come down, but we're in the early stages of the process. In Section E, you'll see the medical and dental report about the number of kids that we service, the number of referrals that we make for various categories. Then Section F talks about the various parental involvement activities that we have, orientation, home visits, conferences with teacher and aides, open door policy that we have. We have parent information workshops that we have our parents invited to and take part in. Our reading around the world activities, family math and literacy nights, book fairs, and fall festivals. And then the last section in that annual report talks about our agency's efforts to prepare our kids for kindergarten. You know, the overarching goal for all of preschool is kindergarten readiness, is getting our kids ready to go. And again, we thank you, and we're fortunate offering a universal preschool to be able to get our kids ready for kindergarten and get ready for the years ahead. Handout 5B, the program information report. Really what this is it takes the annual report as kind of a thumbnail sketch, a synopsis. Our program information report breaks everything down into great detail. I'm not going to go through every page of this. You can kind of go through this at your leisure. But it just talks, the major categories are our enrollment, the qualifications of our staff, the kinds of child and family services that we provide, the disability services that we provide, and our community partnerships. So the performance information report, it really does break everything down into great detail. The other thing I want to remind you about, so we're mandated to present this program information report to you. Also, as a board, you receive, Head Start requires that we perform an audit. And that audit that we perform for Head Start is really part of the audit that we do for the entire school system. And so auditors were in our building this fall, and of course they're going to present that report to you. But if you were ever questioned by Head Start monitoring, you are presented that part of the audit through the regular audit for the whole school district. If you turn to handouts for 5C, what handout 5C reports to you on is kind of our academic and progress of our kids that are in our Head Start program. Now, I just want to remind you that this is referencing only our Head Start kids. You know, this is strictly for Head Start as opposed to our entire preschool. So these are our 112 Head Start students. This first report, if you notice at the top, it says summary narrative of spring data. So this is our data referring to all of last year. And you'll notice, if you look at that table 1, you'll notice the areas that are assessed. You know, we get a fall assessment. We actually do a benchmark assessment in January, and then we come back and do a spring assessment at the end of the year. You notice the areas that we're looking at: social, emotional, mathematics, cognitive, language, literacy, gross motor skills, and fine motor skills. So we're kind of looking at a lot of different areas for where our kids are coming in and how they progress through the course of the year. Again, we're really fortunate to have preschool because many of these things were used to be addressed in kindergarten. Well, now with accountability the way it is, we're really focusing cognitive, math, literacy at kindergarten. They're ready to go. So a lot of the things with regard to social, emotional, physical, fine motor, we're forming those basic. We're getting kids to master those basic skills in preschool, and so we're really lucky to have that for almost all the kids who live in St. Bernard Parish. And those tables kind of show you the growth. Our goal is to have 80% of our students reach their goals. We're well beyond that. We break it down for in tables 2 and 3. You're looking at the number of children that reach their growth, table 3 by race, and in table 4 by gender. Unfortunately, the males again trail the females again for, I don't know if this is the 10th year in a row. But anyway, so that's the full year data from last year. That next handout, if you notice at the top, it says St. Bernard Parish Head Start Summary Narrative of Fall Data. So this is the data collected at the first benchmark for this year. And so it kind of gives you an indication of where we are. If you notice in the narrative, math continues to be one of those areas that, our kids come in lacking greatly. And so, now remember, math isn't just they know their timetables at the age of 4. This is about spatial relations, what comes before, after, ordering things, basic shapes, those kind of things. So we're noticing a kind of a deficit there, and so that tends to drive what we're going to be doing. On that last page of that report, that last paragraph, and I'll just read it to you, it says, entry data from this school year compared to entry data last year suggests that students are entering the program with fewer skills across all areas of development. The fall of 2015 had fewer students below expectations than our students entering in the fall 2016 school year. So math and cognitive development has the least students meeting expectations for fall 2015 and fall 2016. So both of those areas have been low, but we're noticing that as our kids are coming in. So again, we're doubling our efforts to try and increase those skills before they leave us to get ready for kindergarten. So it's interesting. We do track that data, and we let that drive our instruction and our PD. Handout 5D is the latest on our health report. So we're looking here at the number of physicals that we've conducted for our Head Start students, the number of dentals. You'll also notice that we list not only the dentals, who's because that's one of the requirements. We want families and kids to get their kids off on the right track with regard to their health needs. And so we want to make sure they're doing those kind of things. Not only do we, it's mandated, not only do we track the kids who are going, but we also provide information or receive information about follow-up. So you'll notice the dentals, the dental referrals, the follow-ups that we're doing, physicals, the same thing. And this has to be done with, usually Thanksgiving's about the deadline for all of these things to happen. So we've been going through some of the things. The ones that are kind of missing could be a student here or there who entered a little bit later, so they have a little bit longer to do it. But we've been after everybody to get their dentals and physicals in. You also know that I think 4-year-olds are the time when initial immunization has to take place, and Nurse Armstrong tracks that as well. And so that's another area. All right, the handout 5E. Is the governing body's roles and responsibilities. That's the handout 5E. I give this to you every year just to remind you the major thing, the board has the legal and fiscal responsibility to guide and oversee the program. And then it gives you a number of ways that you're able to do that. Of course, we have Ms. Lemoyne right now, but we've had almost everybody on the board has served as a policy council member in the past, so you know how we operate. You're also aware that even though we have that representative on the policy council, Ms. Voce gives you, you get your board newsletter, And every month, attached to that board newsletter are 3 items from our Head Start program. Our enrollment report, the financial report, the monthly financial report, and then the menu. Those are things that, again, are required by us to provide to you. And so you'll get that every month, and you can kind of monitor that. If you have questions, you can, of course, ask me or get with Ms. Lemoyne, and she can bring it up at our policy council. We had our election of new officers for the 16-17 school year, and we'd like to congratulate Ms. Ashley Miller as our president, Ms. Jasmine Sellers as our vice president, Ms. Keisa Rodney as our secretary, and they've assumed those duties at our November meeting. So we're happy to have them on board. So it takes a lot for them to step forward, so we really appreciate their efforts. The last handout are our program goals. Again, we're asked to present these goals to you. And our overall goal is to provide a high-quality program that ensures preschool children are ready for kindergarten at the end of the program year, that their families are ready to partner with the school community in the continuing education of their children, and that schools are ready to meet the needs of Head Start students as they enter kindergarten. That's our overarching goal. If everything that we do in preschool kind of addresses that overarching goal, getting kids ready for kindergarten. In fact, we meet. Our management team meets pretty much every week, and we revisit these goals as we meet to just kind of monitor progress, see how we're doing on these things. If you look at the 7 goals that are there, goal 1 talks about getting kids off on the right track with regard to their physicals and dentals. Goals 2 and 3 deal with the math issues and reading success, literacy, so they kind of tend to focus on the academics. Goal 4, we use data in preschool, just like in K to 12, and we let that data drive our instruction and our professional development. Goal 5, again, one of our goals is to try and get parents off on the right track and increase their parental involvement. The goal number 6 deals with the class evaluation system. You've probably heard of Compass for our K to 12 teachers. They undergo an evaluation system mandated by the state. In preschool, we use CLASS, and it's an evaluation system. And so we looked at areas that we tended to score low on. Our teachers scored low on last year, and we're focusing on improving those skills in class. And the last goal is using technology to, the teachers. You can't give paper and pencil tests to preschoolers. It's not like you can sit down and take the ACT. So a lot of it is portfolio driven, and teachers are, you used to see them a lot, and we still do with clipboards, and they're charting what kids are doing and the progress they're making. Well, now we've kind of moved toward iPads as a way of tracking that, and just like all of us, it's a slow process, so we wanted to try and increase their ability to use those iPads too. It'll make it a little easier, but it's still a task to do that. So in closing, I'd like to thank Ms. Desitel, our program coordinator of our preschool operations. Our management team, Chantel Skellinger, our education specialist, Nurse Armstrong, Miss Angie Ostendorf, who's our new family service worker this year, and Dana Ostendorf, our secretary, for all their efforts in supporting our Head Start program and all the preschool programs, as well as all our teachers and paraprofessionals for everything that they've done. I'd be happy to address any questions that you might have.
Okay. Mr. Long?
Thank you, Dr. Rao, for the report. Just one quick question. The funding on 5A, the bulk of the funds are federal funds, that $830,000. The in-kind, is that what we as a board assist them put in?
The in-kind contributions can take a number of different areas, like Head Start doesn't have to, the $830,000, we don't have to take out some of that money and give it to do transportation. That's the in-kind contribution that the district does. We don't have to pay a custodian to clean our classrooms. That's the in-kind contribution. So those are the kinds of things that the district chips in to make our program work.
Okay, so our system actually puts in the
Quite a bit, right. In
207,000.
addition to, there's a formula they use for parent volunteers. There's a way that the district, it's calculated to be able to come up with that. I think it's a 20% that we have to come up with.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any other comments, questions, discussion? Dr. Ravio, do we need a motion?
No, there's no
to
motion,
accept
there's
this?
nothing to pass. This
Okay.
is strictly information for you all that I've provided the annual report to Ms. Benezek for her to publish.
Okay. All right. Well, Dr. Raviota, thank you very much for your
Thank you.
presentation. Thank you for your hard work in the Head Start program. We have a wonderful Head Start program. You and all the staff members do an excellent job. So
Thank
we
you.
do appreciate all that you do for our students. Thank
Thank
you. Anyone else?
Anything else?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks again. Okay, next item, personnel changes for December.
Good evening.
So, Mr. Granberry?
We can always use math
Always
teachers.
use that.
We hired one.
Good.
I just want to call to everyone's attention on the personnel appointments that we are making permanent. Miss Angela Siebert as the principal of St. Bernard Middle School. She's been acting in that capacity really for the last little over a year while Mr. Fess was ill. And it's time at this point to make her the permanent principal of St. Bernard Middle School. So I want to congratulate her. She's done an excellent job in a very, very difficult situation.
Okay. Okay, anyone else? Any questions? Okay, well, congratulations to Angela Siebert, and she's done a wonderful job, and we look forward to her continuing to do an excellent job. Thank you.
Plus, she's been working with Mr. Collin all that time.
Yes.
And she was working with Mr. Collins.
She got
It
a
gets her
place in heaven.
extra consideration.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Granberry.
Welcome, Ms.
Okay.
Larson.
Dr. Craig.
We have four different calendars, and number 4 was the winner. It got a sizable. Go ahead and explain this to us.
Okay, good evening. As we do each school year, we had a committee that was formed consisting of representatives of the SBAE, Dennis Bradley, Kathy Newman, Shireen Dolly, Cecile Genevine, and our administrative staff, myself, Deidre Bailey, Angela Siebert, and Cookie Munt from Chalmette High. And we came up with several options that we put before the employees this past week to look at with regard to our 2017-2018 school calendar, and provided the options for you there. A couple of things to point out. We started school on August 3rd this current school year, and the options have us starting either the 2nd or 1st in the coming school year. That August 1st date seems kind of close, but it's in reality just 2 days earlier than we started this school year. We will be getting out before Memorial Day, which is something I know that's of big interest to the community. And just some of the highlights with the holidays. There are traditional holidays. This past year we featured a fall break, and our employees seemed to like that idea, and we looked at attendance rates and those kinds of things, and we offered that as an option again, as do many of our surrounding parishes. This year, because we will not have a federal election day on a Tuesday in November, we're able to coincide the November PD day with the day after Halloween, which I know many of our parents appreciate also. And the holidays are pretty consistent from there on out. If you look at the last page, you'll see where we are with the options that, and the employee vote at this point in time. we are going to put out tomorrow a ballot to ask employees to choose between option 3 and option 4, since we didn't have a majority. And basically, it will boil down to this. We'll have either a 1-day fall break and 10 days at Christmas, or a 2-day fall break and 9 days at Christmas. So that's the primary difference in the two options. So we'll put that out tomorrow, and we'll have the options voted on and a recommendation, a full recommendation for the employee preference for you at Tuesday night, next Tuesday night's board meeting.
Okay, any questions about the calendars? And Mr. Long?
Ms. Larson, I can't remember a time when we had a runoff for this thing before.
Sometimes the calendar is so constrained
Right.
by holidays and the way days fall that we can, the 2 options are all that we can eke out. So we did have more options this year, and that's necessitating the runoff.
Right, I see that, okay. Thank you.
Big exciting news, a runoff of the calendar.
Yeah, a lot of campaigning going on. Signs everywhere.
That's it. Oh, it does get some interest in the schools.
Yeah.
And there is some campaigning that goes on, but we'll see. Will Christmas or fall break be the winner?
So we'll send this to the board without a recommendation.
Fine, thank
Find
you.
out. Thank you.
Stay tuned.
Okay,
Next week.
Madam President, you're on.
Thank you, Dr. Thank you, Dr. Kraft. Thank you, Ms. Larson. Next item, superintendent's recommendation.
Just that this is a very exciting time around the holiday season, a lot of activity within our schools. From the academic perspective, we're right in the middle of all the computerized and, of course, statewide assessments that many of our high school students are taking this month. But we have some fun things that are happening in our schools as well. And I know you mentioned in the beginning, Mrs. Dysart, the Christmas show at Shelman High School was outstanding. The performances in Dockville. Many of our schools are having their individual Christmas shows and Christmas performances either on their campuses or at the Cultural Arts Center, whichever they choose to do. And I think as you go around the community, like Mr. England mentioned, at the Christmas tree lighting for the parish, you see our kids everywhere and really being featured and highlighted in all of the Christmas shows and performances throughout the parish. So I think we really are the integral part of all of the Christmas festivities here in St. Bernard Parish. So I just wanted to thank all of our principals and teachers and support staff and parents and students for managing to juggle both the academic side of what we need to do plus celebrating the season within our community as well.
Thank you, Ms. Voce. Anyone else? Okay, there's a motion by Ms. Acevedo to adjourn. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Campbell. All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Aye. The meeting is now adjourned. Thank you and good night.